Black screen, wind, footsteps, metal clashing, a crowd arguing somewhere far away. Then, a calm voice. Before Rome ruled the world, before empires stretched across continents, before science, before universities, before the very idea of freedom, there was a small city of white stone and dust. No king, no emperor, no divine ruler, just citizens, arguing, voting, thinking, and in its streets, one old man asked questions so dangerous, the city killed him. His crime? Teaching people how to think. This was Athens, and this is where the modern mind was born. Cut to the Acropolis bathed in gold. The sun rises slowly over the Aegean Sea. Light spills across marble. Columns glow honey gold. Birds scatter from rooftops. Athens wakes violently, not peacefully. Roosters scream. Dogs bark. Pottery shatters. Donkeys drag wooden carts over stone roads. Smoke rises from charcoal ovens. A fish seller shouts prices. A baby cries. Two men argue about taxes. Somewhere, a hammer slams bronze against an anvil. Sparks burst into the air. Athens is not quiet. It never is. Dust sticks to sweaty skin. Olive oil perfumes the air. Goats wander between houses. Children run barefoot through narrow alleys. Nearly 200,000 people are crammed inside these walls. It smells like salt, wine, smoke, animals, human bodies. This is not a romantic city of philosophers. It is chaotic, alive, restless, and strangely modern. Because something unusual is happening here. People are not obeying, they are debating. If you enter from the sea, you arrive at Piraeus, the harbor, ships everywhere, warships, merchant vessels, fishing boats. Wood creaks, sails snap, languages mix. Egyptians bargain with Greeks. Phoenicians unload purple dye. Spartans stare suspiciously. Athens is not isolated. Trade flows constantly, and with trade come ideas. Ideas are more dangerous than armies, because armies conquer bodies, ideas conquer minds. Stone walls connect the harbor to the city. The long walls, a giant corridor of protection. Inside them lies Athens itself, houses packed tightly together, mud brick, tiny windows, twisting streets, water fountains, public baths, temples, markets. At the top, the Acropolis, sacred ground, temple after temple, and crowning everything, the Parthenon, a monument so perfect it looks unreal. White marble, precise geometry, built not just to honor gods, but to prove a point. Athens is powerful. Athens is cultured. Athens is superior. Architecture as propaganda. Even stone becomes political here. Now walk downhill, into the Agora, the beating heart. If the Acropolis is the brain, the Agora is the bloodstream. Everything flows here. Fish, bread, olives, wine, bronze, ideas. Always ideas. A politician stands on a platform yelling about taxes. A poet recites verses. A philosopher argues about justice. Teenagers wrestle in the dust. A slave drags amphory twice his weight. A woman haggles fiercely over fabric. The noise never stops. Athenians don't whisper. They shout. If you're quiet, people assume you're stupid. Conversation is competition. Arguments are sport. Children learn rhetoric the way others learn sword fighting. Because here, words are weapons, and the best speaker often wins. Climb a rocky hill west of the city, the Pnyx. No palace, no throne, just open sky, and thousands of citizens. This is the assembly, the government. Anyone can speak. Anyone. Imagine that. A farmer walks forward. He criticizes a general. A potter proposes a law. A teenager challenges a politician. And if the crowd agrees, the law changes. Just like that. No king, no divine command, just voices. It's messy, slow, full of shouting, but revolutionary. For the first time in history, ordinary people rule themselves. And something strange happens. When people control their future, they start thinking seriously, because mistakes have consequences.
If you vote for war, your son might die. If you raise taxes, your business might collapse. Responsibility creates thought. Thought creates philosophy. Athens has accidentally built the perfect laboratory for ideas. But step behind the temples, behind the speeches, and you see something darker. Half the population are slaves, war captives, foreigners, children born into chains. They mine silver, row ships, clean houses, raise children that are not theirs. Democracy rests on their suffering. Women, no vote, no political voice, no assembly. They run households, but history forgets them. Athens is brilliant, but unfair, free, but cruel. A city of light built on shadows. This contradiction will haunt it forever. Among this chaos walks a strange man, barefoot, poor, ugly, broad nose, bulging eyes, wearing the same cloak every day. He owns nothing. He sells nothing. He teaches nothing. He just talks, stops strangers, asks questions. What is justice? What is courage? What is goodness? How do you know? At first people laugh, then they argue, then they get uncomfortable, because every answer collapses. He exposes contradictions, makes smart men look foolish, makes powerful men look ignorant. Young people follow him everywhere. Leaders start worrying, because this man has invented something dangerous, critical thinking. His name is Socrates, and Athens has no idea what it has unleashed. Before Socrates, people obeyed tradition. Gods explain lightning, kings explain laws, custom explains morality. But Socrates says, don't accept, question. If justice can be questioned, maybe laws are wrong. If gods can be questioned, maybe religion is myth. If leaders can be questioned, maybe power is undeserved. This is intellectual dynamite. Athens gave people freedom of speech. Socrates teaches them how to use it. And that combination will change the world forever. For a time, Athens feels unstoppable. Money flows in from trade. Silver pours from the mines. Ships dominate the sea. The Parthenon rises. Temples multiply. Art explodes. Philosophy spreads. To the Athenians, it feels like destiny, like the gods themselves have chosen this city to lead the world. But success creates enemies, and far to the south, another city watches. Silent, disciplined, hard as iron. Sparta. Where Athens debates, Sparta trains. Where Athens builds theaters, Sparta builds warriors. Where Athens values ideas, Sparta values obedience. Two opposite worlds, forced to share one Greece. Conflict is inevitable, and in 431 BCE, the Peloponnesian War begins. The first invasion is brutal. Spartan hoplites march across Attica. Fields burn, farms collapse, smoke fills the sky. Athens cannot defeat Sparta on land, so the people retreat behind their walls. Everyone, farmers, families, animals, refugees, thousands crammed into the city. Athens becomes overcrowded, hot, filthy. Breathing becomes difficult. Water runs low. Disease spreads. Fear grows. The greatest experiment in democracy is about to face its greatest test. Then it comes. Not soldiers, not arrows, something worse, invisible, a fever. At first, just a few, then dozens, then hundreds. Bodies collapse in the streets. Skin burns, eyes bleed. People scream for water they cannot drink. Families abandon the sick. Doctors die first. Priests pray to silent gods. The dead pile up faster than they can be buried. Fires burn day and night. Smoke smells of flesh. No one knows what it is. No one understands. Today we call it the Plague of Athens. But to them, it feels like the end of the world. Nearly 1/3 of the population dies. 1/3. Imagine your city losing every third person you know. Friends, parents, children, gone, just like that. And something else dies too. Faith. In gods, in government, in morality. When death is random, rules stop mattering. Crime rises. Religion collapses. People spend money wildly, steal, drink, fight.
If we're going to die tomorrow, they say, why behave today? Democracy survives on trust. The plague destroys trust, and Athens is never the same again. After the plague, something shifts. Athens becomes angrier, more paranoid, less rational. Fear replaces confidence. Crowds demand stronger leaders, harsher punishments, faster decisions. Democracy becomes unstable because democracy requires patience, and fear hates patience. Politicians stop debating wisely. They start shouting louder, promising revenge, glory, victory at any cost. Athens begins making bad choices, military disasters, failed invasions, lost fleets, thousands dead. The empire shrinks, money dries up. The proud city that once felt invincible now feels fragile. And in fragile societies, people look for someone to blame.
And still, through all this chaos, one old man walks the streets, barefoot, calm, asking questions. Socrates. While politicians scream for war, he asks, what is justice? While crowds demand punishment, he asks, what is virtue? While the city collapses, he tells young people, think for yourselves. To frighten leaders, this is not helpful. It's dangerous. Because when society is weak, questioning feels like betrayal. Young men gather around him, listening, laughing, learning. Some of them sons of powerful families, some later accused of crimes or rebellions. So the blame begins. Who corrupted our youth? Who taught them to challenge authority? All eyes slowly turn toward one man, the old philosopher in the marketplace, the man who never stopped asking why. 399 BCE, Socrates is arrested. The charges sound simple, but terrifying. Corrupting the youth, disrespecting the gods. Imagine that, not murder, not theft, thought crimes. He stands before 500 jurors, no lawyer, no defense team, just him. Old, calm, fearless. He does not beg, does not apologize, does not flatter. Instead, he argues, he challenges, he questions the jurors themselves. It's classic Socrates. Even now, even facing death, he refuses to stop thinking. He says, if you kill me, you harm yourselves more than me, because you silence the man who wakes you up. But Athens is tired of war, tired of chaos, tired of doubt. And sometimes, societies choose comfort over truth. The vote is cast. Guilty. Sentence. Death. His friends arrange an escape. The guards can be bribed. He can flee, live safely in another city. But he refuses, because escaping would break the laws. And he believes in law, even flawed law. So he stays. The day arrives. The prison is quiet. He sits with friends, talking philosophy, like always, calm, joking even. A guard brings a cup, hemlock, poison. He drinks it. No drama, no screaming, just conversation. His legs grow cold, then numb, then his chest. Breathing slows. His last words are gentle, almost ordinary. And then, silence. The man who taught the world to question dies because he questioned too much. Athens has killed its greatest mind. History will never forget the irony. One young man watches everything, horrified, heartbroken, Plato. He realizes something terrifying. If wisdom lives only inside people, it dies with them. Socrates never wrote anything. His thoughts almost vanished forever. So Plato decides never again. He begins writing. Dialogues, conversations, books, preserving Socrates' ideas. Then he does something revolutionary. He creates a place where thinking is permanent. The academy. Not a temple, not a palace, a school, the first true university in history. Students gather not to pray, but to question math, astronomy, politics, philosophy, reality itself. For the first time, knowledge becomes organized, systematic, teachable. Every modern university is descended from this garden outside Athens. Harvard, Oxford, Tokyo, all children of Plato's academy. Among the students, one stands out: Aristotle. Where Plato dreams about perfect ideals, Aristotle studies reality. He dissects animals,
Catalogs plants, classifies governments, studies logic, observes stars. He asks not, what should the world be, but how does the world actually work? He invents scientific thinking, cause and effect, observation, evidence, classification. Nearly every scientific method we use today begins with him. Together, Socrates teaches how to question, Plato teaches how to think abstractly, Aristotle teaches how to study reality. 3 minds, 1 city, 1 century, and humanity changes forever. Athens eventually falls, Sparta defeats it, Macedonia conquers it, Rome absorbs it. The empire dies, temples crumble, marble cracks, dust covers everything. But something strange happens. Athens loses wars, yet wins history. Because Sparta trained soldiers, Athens trained minds. And soldiers die. Ideas don't. Every democracy today, Athens. Every courtroom, Athens. Every school, Athens. Every time you question a law, every time you ask why, every time you challenge authority, you are continuing the Athenian experiment. You are using the weapon Socrates gave you, thought. Today, the city is quiet. No shouting, no debates, no philosophers in the marketplace. Just ruins, broken columns, cracked stone, tourists with cameras, wind moving through empty spaces. It feels small, insignificant, hard to believe this place once changed the world. But then you remember, civilizations aren't measured by walls or armies or gold. They're measured by ideas. And Athens produced the most powerful idea of all. Humans can think for themselves. And once that idea exists, it can never be killed. Not by plague, not by war, not even by poison. Because somewhere, right now, someone is asking why. And every time that happens, Athens lives again.